I have to be on the main camera. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. It's Heidi from Costume Co. Great to see everyone today. Hopefully, you can all see me. How's everyone doing? I see I've got a few people here in the chat. Who we have here? God, there's a bunch of you already. Hey, everyone. So we've got 30-day reviews here. Erin's here, Erin LaFay, who's our happy moderator. And who else we have? Herman Bum's mom is here. Hello. And then that's it so far, I think. How is everyone doing today? Hi, 30 days. It's nice to see you. I'm trying to put the children in their cage. Exactly. Yes, Erin, is that you? Yeah, I was trying to put the kids in the cage. That's why I'm a little bit delayed here. So anyway, I hope everyone had a great week. It's really nice to see you. I'm by myself today. I don't have a guest. And I'm actually, Erin's in the chat right now. So we're hoping to eventually I want to have Erin on so that we can go through some of your costumes, Erin, but also Tatiana, who's another viewer. She's also going to be um, here, hopefully coming here, and then we're going to be able to have her on and talk about her costumes as well. So anyways, I'm just playing with a bunch of buttons here. This is probably not a good idea. What am I trying to do here? There we go. Okay, so if you guys everyone tell me how your week went. I think I mentioned to you that last week that I was going to a conference, so I did that. I left on Sunday. I went to this conference. It was in Niagara-on-the-Lake. It was so hot. It was beautiful, but it was really, really hot. And it worked out really well. So I went down, I was there Sunday, and then I came back Wednesday. So it was lovely. It was a very posh hotel that we stayed at. But I was working for my sister, so as I mentioned, she probably would have me working very hard, and she did. So I worked very hard. So when I got back Wednesday, I was just pooped. And actually, 30 days, I still haven't had a chance to look at your stuff. I was so exhausted. So I promise to look at that. Um, so 30 days says, I got my garden all planted. That's so lovely. I got back. My husband had done some yard work and everything, and we actually had a bunch of stuff we were clearing out, so we had to bring that to the dump. That was really exciting. So we've got it all cleared out now, and it's kind of like we're so ready for summer. So we got hit by a major heat wave, and then today is actually beautiful. How's everyone's weather doing? Like, I'm in Toronto, Canada, you probably remember. Herman says, I can't wait to see your creations, Erin. Yeah. So what had happened I think it was like a month ago, just when I first started live streaming, I showed some of Erin's drawings, and he was trying to moderate, and then I was asking him questions in the chat, and then his aunt was there as well, so he was having a hard time sort of commenting. So what we thought we would do is I would have Erin on, and then Tatiana, who's the other my other viewer. And so what Erin does is he custom creates outfits sort of inspired by different movies and TV shows, but they're really his own creation. And then same with Tatiana, she tends to do her own take on a movie or a TV show, and she's been sending me her submissions since the beginning, and they're just really, really lovely. So we're going to work on that. So what I wanted to do to start is just going to tell you guys what's happening. Um, so this week I put up a new video on the costumes of Arya Stark. So if any of you are Game of Thrones people, hopefully you got a chance to see that. And I've been meaning to do a video on her for ages. So what I did is I've got this new thing called a community tab. So if I want to, if I want to engage with the viewers, like say if you're not on Twitter, like I chat with a lot of people on Twitter, that's a way for me to be able to just send a little message out to you or to any of the subscribers. And so what I did is I had put out a little survey asking what would you like the next video to be. So the one that won was Arya Stark, and the one that came second was Tyrion Lannister. So I put the Arya Stark video out. So that was out I think it was last Saturday or maybe Sunday. And now I'm working on a Tyrion Lannister video. So hopefully you guys are going to be excited to see that. You know, he's an amazing character. Unfortunately, I think what happens in these shows is when we have male characters, they don't get as much attention, and they don't, you know, even though their costumes can be amazing, like I think that some of the male characters on Game of Thrones have awesome costumes. So I've been really wanting to do him for a long time, and he's one of the characters that's been around like, you know, he's been around since the very beginning. So unlike some characters who've come and gone type of thing, Tyrion has been there since the beginning. And of course he's like, you know, he's in the books, he's a main protagonist, and I'll be excited to see what happens with him in season 8, everybody. So that, I'm hoping I'll have that done by tomorrow. I'm hoping to get that out tomorrow to you guys. So I'm just going to take a sip of coffee. I'm having a coffee. It's 6 p.m. So don't judge me, okay? So, and then Jasmine says, oh, she says, love the Stark sisters. Great videos. Yeah. So I have, so I've already got one on Sansa Stark. And I have one, I haven't done any of the other characters, but I do have a video that's dedicated to the costumes of Westeros. So in there, I try to go through all like Caitlyn and Sansa and then the boys and try to sort of talk about that, and Eddard, of course. So, and then in my last video on Arya, you know, I sort of talk about the influences that Ned had on Arya, and how in the very end, like sort of toward the end of season 7, I mean, she's sort of full on her dad, like in a lot of ways. So that's what's coming up in videos. And then what I'm going to do, so once this Tyrion Stark video is out, if any of you watch Westworld, I had a few people ask me if I was going to do a Shogun World, and I mentioned it also just in the live stream. So I think what I'm going to do, there's not a lot happening in Westworld with the rest of the costumes. And through the live streams, we've sort of talked about some of the things that we've seen. But in terms of the main characters like Maeve, well, Maeve has had a sort of a slight change. But in terms of Dolores and Teddy and the Man in Black, they're all wearing their costumes from last year that were established by the costume designer Anne Crabtree last year. So I didn't really feel I needed to revisit Westworld, but I thought it would be really fun just to do a Shogun World video. I've already done 3 Westworld videos from season 1, so that sort of covers the Westworld aspect of it. So I thought it'd be really fun to do Shogun World. And Raj World, we didn't really, or you know, I think they call it the Raj, we didn't really get a lot from that. So anyway, so I think that's probably going to be my next video. And then the other one I'm probably going to be working on is Solo, a Star Wars story. I just have to go see the movie, but I got a press kit from Disney for that. So I've got some really great pictures. And everyone who's seen it that I've talked to really enjoyed it. Like Patrick, my friend who was in the stream last week, he said he really enjoyed it. And, you know, last week I have Jamie on, and I think he really enjoyed it. He did a review on it on his channel, if any of you saw our stream last week. So that's what I sort of probably will have coming up in videos. Let me just go in the chat for a moment here and see what everyone's saying. So we've got Jasmine. I had mentioned, hi, hope you're doing well. I'm going to the Game of Thrones concert on Monday. That's so great. Which one are you going to, Jasmine? They're coming to Toronto. And I just noticed that the other day. So that sounds like a blast. You'll have to come back and tell us how that was. That I've heard it's really great. Like, and even visually, it's apparently really awesome. Sharon says it's 96 degrees in Houston. Wow. We had temps up like that last week. It got so hot and humid. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, it was like 36 degrees or something. Reno, Nevada, a cool 70. Ooh, that is pretty cool. And then Sharon's in Houston. Aaron's in South Carolina. He says it's still hot. Yeah, it's pretty hot down there, right, Aaron? Jasmine says my favorite character costume-wise was Joffrey. Yes. Well, I did do a video on Joffrey. I mean, I think he had the most costumes. I think Michelle Clapton said he had the most costumes of any male character. There might have been, he might have had competition with one other person, if I remember. And then Amelia says, I also like the costumes in the World of Ice and Fire official art. Oh, so what's that? Are you talking about from like in the Wikia when you go up and look for Game of Thrones, like what people have come up with based on that? Because I sometimes enjoy, it's interesting to look at the artwork from the book versus what the artwork is, you know, obviously from the TV show. And Jasmine says it's in Munich. Oh, okay. So yeah, they're coming to Toronto where I live. So they're, they're doing this tour, and then there's a Game of Thrones tour going around as well. So one of my viewers sent me pictures from Barcelona. So they were there, and then they're going to be in Paris. So I'm really hoping they come to North America. I really would like to see that. So the other thing I was going to tell you guys I have coming up this summer is I think I'm at like 9,500 subs. So just to give you some perspective, I started this channel 2 years ago in June, 2 years ago. So it's been like exactly 2 years pretty much. And the first year, nothing really was happening. I'd put up the odd video. I'd have the odd, I'd have a little. Around last year, I thought, I'm really going to start taking this more seriously and try to put videos up more often. So what happened was last year, I think I had like, I don't know, maybe I had a couple of hundred subs. I might have had like 250 or something. And then I think it was by July, I was at 1,000. And so between then and now, I've actually accumulated like about 9,000 subs. So that was pretty successful for me. What had happened is I had one video that really did well, and then, but then it hasn't been doing as well. So I'm just sort of plugging away at it. So I'm planning something really fun for my 10,000 subscriber sort of accomplishment. So what happens with YouTube, if you get to 100,000 subs, they send you a silver playlist award. And then if you get to 1 million, they send you gold. And then if you get to, I think it's like maybe 10 million, you get a diamond one. So I decided I'm going to do a special 10,000 sub award, but I'm making it. So I think what I'm planning on doing, I've got all the materials for it. I didn't want to get too ahead of it because, I still have 500 so subs to go, a little less than 500. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably do how I made it video, and then I'll post that when I get to 10,000. So that's going to be coming up. And the other thing is so Game of Thrones, which is majority of the videos I do on this channel are Game of Thrones. It's not coming back until 2019. So, and I'm not sure if anybody in the chat knows exactly when that is. It might be January, February. I'm not exactly sure. So we still have at least 6 months to go before we even get to, I don't even know how long it will be before we get to see a preview. I have a feeling it's going to be a while. So what I thought is over the summer, I'm going to try and do some Game of Thrones videos, get caught up. So like I said, I have one that just came out. I'm having another one coming out. I had started a series on the costumes of Essos, but I didn't finish it. So I'm planning on finishing that. And then I hope to do Olenna Tyrell. I hope to do Varys and probably Caitlin. I haven't done her yet. So I'm hoping to do some of these major characters. But my big news is that I've been planning on doing a book on the costumes of Game of Thrones. So what it's going to be is it's going to be an ebook that I'll have available. I'm hoping to have it done by Christmas, like before the new season comes out. And it'll just be sort of most of my research. And I'm going to package it up all into one book. And then if anybody wants to have it, they can get it. It'll be like a really low price point. It won't be anything crazy at all. And so yeah, and I'm probably going to be working with Patrick. He's going to be doing some illustrations for me. He's an artist. So it'll have some original work in it. So that's what I've been working on as well. So that's going to be kind of exciting. I'll let you guys know more about it as we move along. So what is everyone else saying here now? Yes, Aaron says it grew like wildfire. Yeah, it did. I think this is what happens. It sometimes with YouTube, the growth can be really slow, but you have to, and as 30 days is here, I think still, he's another creator. You have to post regularly. You have to give content that people want to see, and you have to have your artwork look good and so on. But also you have to sort of learn the ropes around getting suggested by YouTube. So there's a lot of measures that go into it. So, oh yeah, 30 Days says, yay, book. Yeah. And if anybody doesn't know who 30 Days is, I've mentioned this before. He's another creator. He does, and by the way, 30 Days, I noticed that you had a thumbnail where you weren't wearing a shirt. What was that all about? I have to watch that video. So he does a series of videos where he takes a product. I think you get offered the products, don't you? they ask if you'll review their products, and then he tries it out for 30 days, and then he does a video once the product is done. And a lot of what he does is grooming. He's got a mustache, so if you guys want to check out his channel. But in his last video, he had I haven't watched it yet, 30 days. He had a picture of himself sort of peeking out, and he wasn't wearing a shirt. So I have to check that video out. I think it was some type of grooming product. Oh, and Herman Bumsmumps is excited for the book. Yeah. So I'm hoping I'm hoping that it will be like, I've written a couple of books before, but this will be, completely nonfiction. And it's just, I'm going to do it. I think I'm calling it, I have to tell you the name of it. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be something like the complete guide to costumes of Game of Thrones. So it'll be good for like cosplayers or anybody who wants to just, know more behind the scenes of what goes into the costumes. So the issue that I have is that I've done a lot of the costumes already, but there's some characters and some regions I haven't done yet. So I still have to go and do that. And the other thing is that it's sometimes hard because Michelle Clapton, who's the costume designer, I've noticed this on the video I'm doing right now. Some characters she doesn't talk about it as much, and she sometimes is a little bit more quiet. Like I'm hoping that maybe towards the end of the series she might speak up a bit more, but she's, so I don't always have the costume designer to get the information from. I sometimes have to either go to other artisans to get the info, or I have to just do my own interpretation, which then can sometimes be wrong. Sometimes it's right. I think sometimes I've gotten it right, like when I've done an interpretation, but sometimes it's just like, it's just my opinion. So, I'm hoping to have a nice balance there. So guys, who else is here? We've got Angel Lover 02171. That's a cool name. Oh, what happened here? Sorry. Says World of Ice and Fire is an encyclopedia style book. It's approved by George R. And some of the articles, like the Targaryen stuff, is written by George Martin. Book is gorgeous, and you get to see the clothes and landscapes. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. There was a book is that the one by Emilio? And it's a couple, a married couple that wrote it, The World of Ice and Fire. Because I follow them on, A Game of Costumes, or The Costumes of Ice and Fire. Are those some suggestions for the book? Aaron says, I could send you some patterns that I have made from the Game of Thrones reproductions. Very cool. That's awesome, Aaron. And, would you sign the first, 10 copies? Oh, Aaron, you don't want my signature, do you? Seriously? Honey, I'll give you 30 Days says, haha, it's work friendly, laugh out loud, and I usually contact them first. Oh, what does that mean, 30 Days? Is that in response to me calling you out on being nude on your cover? I don't know what that means. You're going to have to explain. Oh, Justin Thomas is here. Hi, Justin. It's rare to have an actual expert on YouTube, and this channel has an expert. Aw, that's so nice. And then Sharon says, I found your channel through a friend on a TV show and I'm working on. And I am the costume designer for the show Midnight Lair. I was hooked immediately on your channel. Oh, that's so great, Sharon. I'll have to check out your show, Midnight Lair. Can you tell me which, where it's being showed? Is it like on Netflix, or is it where is it showing? I'm in Canada, so you may not know if you're not in Canada. So, and Justin, if you're here, this is the other thing I was going to get to. For future live streams. So I really want to have Justin back on. We had such a great time. He came on about, I don't know, like a month ago, and it was just as Westworld was starting. So we kind of went through the costumes of Westworld, but we also talked about the costumes of Peaky Blinders. And Justin, so I'm finally, I think I'm on episode 4 of Peaky Blinders. So we'll have to definitely do Peaky Blinders. I'm really enjoying it. It's so good. My husband's been watching it with me. So I want to have Justin back, and I want to have Indie Geek back. And then Jamie Hughes, who was here last week, he's planning on coming back towards maybe the middle of the summer, so we can sort of talk about some of the movies that we mentioned that we were looking forward to seeing, and then maybe we'll have seen them and be able to talk about a bit more about them. And then the other thing is I'm planning on having, so I don't know if anybody caught this, but I had a really great cosplayer on a while back named Kristen, and we were chatting about this other cosplayer named Natasha, and she's got this really cool Facebook group called Socialist Revolution. So she does all kinds of, she doesn't just do one specific, type of show. She does all kinds. She does Harry Potter. She does The Crown. She does Outlander. She does a lot of Outlander, and she just did this amazing reproduction of Queen Elizabeth from The Crown. It was fantastic. So anyway, I talked to her. She's really busy, but we're probably going to do maybe a July thing. Well, we'll have her on. We can look at her costumes, and then if anybody has questions for her about how she makes them, they're really like reproductions. Like she tries to use screen accurate fabrics, which if anybody doesn't know what screen accurate means, is it's the one that they used in the show. And she's extremely resourceful, but she's also a really skilled seamstress. Like she does amazing work. Or stitcher. I'm going to say stitcher is the more contemporary term for seamstress, or because it's sometimes a man, so just throwing that out there. The other thing is, what was I going to talk about? Okay, so the other thing I mentioned, that we're going to have Arian and Tatiana on as guests soon, so I'm going to try and set a date. So perhaps next weekend we might be able to do that. And what we'll do is I'll have a bunch of their pictures and we can go through and you guys can see them, because I've been really excited to share them. As Tatiana, she's been sending me pictures for like a year and a half now. I've actually created a Facebook page, a Facebook, what do you call it, album for her on my Facebook page. And then finally, the other thing I was going to tell you, so there's a Queen movie coming out. I think that Jamie Hughes and I touched on this last week. It's called Bohemian Rhapsody. Obviously, it's about Queen. And that's not going to be coming out until November 2nd. But my friend Patrick happens to be a Queen expert. He wrote a book called The Queen Chronology. I don't know if he's here. And so I'm going to have him on. He actually lives in Toronto. So he's just going to come here to my studio. And we're going to sit and talk about it. But what we want to do is wait until there's a couple more trailers that come out. So he knows, he's actually interviewed or spoken on the phone with a couple of members of Queen, which is so awesome. He's not here, so I don't know which members it were, but he knows them like very, very intricately. Is that the correct word? He knows them not intimately, but he knows them quite well. And so he'll be able to speak to the authenticity of the movie, which I've heard is pretty good. And so far his response to it was very, very good. He thinks it looks like it's going to be awesome. And if any of you know Rami Malek, he's playing Freddie Mercury. And so he's from another show called, I've lost it now. What's it called? It's a show about Mr. Robot. That's it. He stars in Mr. Robot. So Patrick hadn't actually seen Mr. Robot, but I had, and he's won an Emmy for that show. He's just an amazing actor. So that's one movie that I'm really, really excited to see. I'm not usually into biopic type shows. I don't know about you guys. Oh, Justin Thomas loves The Crown. So Justin, I haven't seen The Crown. So that's one of your favorite shows? Let me go back and see what everyone's saying. 30 Days says, yes, the video is work friendly, not nude at all, just in the thumbnail. And I usually contact the company first to get product samples. Oh, you contact them. Okay, I thought they contacted you. And Justin says he's pumped. Okay, so Justin, can we set a date? Because I know we had talked about maybe doing a mid Westworld thing, but it just didn't happen. And I had this conference I had to go to this week. You might have missed that early in the week. I had to go to that. Aaron says, well, actually, McCall's actually has patterns already. Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know what Aaron's talking about, so McCall's, they're a pattern company. They make patterns. Now, I don't know if they're licensed, but they make sort of Game of Thrones inspired patterns. They also do Outlander. A bunch of these companies, they do the different TV shows. So you could take the pattern. The one thing I noticed about some of the patterns that I've seen is they're kind of like more of a quick rig kind of version of it. Like, so it may not open the way like, Cersei's kimono would normally open or that type of thing. So it might not be exactly like it. But what people like Natasha do from Socialist Revolution or Kristen is they'll take a pattern that they'll buy it. There are some like historical pattern makers as well that sell out from Etsy, and they'll take the pattern and they'll just adjust it and or make a new pattern from it. So you don't have to start from scratch like that. And Haley Marie says she loves Harry Potter. She says hi to Aaron. Sharon says Midnight Lair is on YouTube under Midnight Lair Studios. We have a pilot so far. However, we are about to start production on season 1. That's so awesome. Okay, Sharon, I'll check that out, and then next week I'll get back to you with that, okay? I have to make sure I make a note about that to check it out. I'm going to check out Midnight Lair. That's a cool name. Now, is it about vampires? Because that's what I thought it might be about, or something like, is it something supernatural? Because if it is, that's totally up my alley. I like that kind of thing. Okay, now I've lost my stream here, my chat here. Okay, what's going on? Sorry, guys. I'm oh, here I am. I'm back. Okay. Oh, Queen will be an amazing chat, says Herman, Bum's mom, which is Cindy. Yes, I think so, because and hopefully we'll have some pictures. It looks really because it's been I don't know, what do they call it? It's been sort of endorsed by Queen, like they've approved it and they were involved in it in the production. So it's not like an unauthorized, it's an authorized biography as opposed to unauthorized without their sort of blessing, I guess you say. I'm drinking out of, I don't know if anybody can see this, but I have a Lego Movie cup that I'm using. So when you go to the theater, they give you these cups, or maybe this was from McDonald's, but we just saw the latest Lego Movie. Has anybody seen it? The one with Jackie Chan? It was actually not bad, but yeah, so this is for my kids. It's important to stay hydrated, everybody. Also, Emma, put Heidi on the spot right now. Laugh out loud. All my work is not on the Facebook page. Oh, sorry, Aaron. I'm so terrible at stuff like that. I try. Okay, I'll make sure it gets on there. And Sharon says Tatiana's costumes are awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that she goes into the field. Angel Oliver says, I was wondering if you have watched Handmaid's Tale or Harlots. No. It's funny because with Handmaid's Tale, it's shot in Toronto and it's written by Margaret Atwood, who's Canadian. But I saw the original movie, but I don't know. There was something about it. I thought I might just get too upset. So I'm very sensitive about stuff like that. So I've kind of avoided it, but I think I should probably watch it because I think it's probably worth it if anybody else has seen it. Have you seen JoJo Bizarre Adventure? The costumes are bizarre. No. JoJo Bizarre Adventure. No, I'll write this down. JoJo Bizarre. And as far as Harlots goes, I have had a few people asking me about that. Is it period? I think I asked if that's a period show. Oh, what else is going on here? I have a Queen Monopoly board. Really? That's really interesting. So guys, tell me what kind of like videos that you'd like to see in the future. Like I could do another community thing. So like I said, some of the ones I have coming up, but I kind of get stuck sometimes. So is there any shows that you would like to see a dedicated video to? And maybe like if you put it in the chat, even if I can't sort of see it right at the moment, I can, go back to it after and look at it. I'm just like you with The Handmaid's Tale. Samantha, do you mean that you think it would be too upsetting? Because I read the book years ago, right? I read it, and I loved it. I thought it was a really great book. And like I said, Margaret Atwood's Canadian, like me. And then, and I love science fiction and dystopian, but then I saw the movie and I just thought the way that they're doing it in the news show, it just looks so terrifying, like really terrifying. And I guess with the way things are in the world right now, it just feels like too real. So I just was like, oh, I don't know, like if I can handle it. So anyway, if someone says that they think I can handle it, I will watch it. Yeah, and then Justin Thomas said, "Oh, what the men's costumes on Versailles are yummy, sigh are gorgeous." Yeah. Uh, what other shows, guys, do you want to see? What other shows do you want to see me talk about? Now, a couple of other videos I had coming out that I hadn't finished. So I had done like Outlander season 1. I think I did 4 videos on that, and then I was going to finish that off. So hopefully I'll have that coming in the next little while, just to finish off season 1. And then I also have part 2 of American Gods coming out as well, which will be on the modern gods, on the gods of the future. I think they're called the modern gods. I've forgotten already. The Gillian Anderson's in it. So they're working on season 2. I'm just waiting to get some pictures. I have an insider on the show. So I'm waiting to get some pictures from them. And then hopefully once I get those pictures, I can do that. So I have that. And the other thing is I went to Toronto Comic Con and did a bunch of interviews with people, and I still haven't done that video. So I do have some videos on the back burner. Hopefully I can get those done and get them out. It's just like hard to get time to do all of them. I mean, honestly, if I had it my way, I would try to do like 2 or 3 videos a week. But as it is right now, I'm doing like I call it an almost weekly video. And then I'm doing the live stream just to sort of, be able to touch base with you guys if I have anything that we want to talk about. And then, and today, now I don't know if 30-day reviews was there today, but I was in a live stream today for Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin. If anybody doesn't know who they are, they're creators. And they had a guy, they were looking at his channel, and he had this really, really cool channel where he does leather crafting. He's out of BC. And he also does costumes, but he's like a really talented crafts person. So I was thinking, oh, that would be a really fun person to have on the show. So maybe I'll try and hit him up. But, I hadn't met him before. So I thought, well, that would just be weird if I just, out of the blue, just asked him, hey, you want to be on my show? So 30 days, maybe you can, I don't know if you know him. Yes, we talked, remember? Oh, what is that? Let me go back to what's going on here. Sounds wonderful. Oh, it is okay. So Sharon's saying about her show, Midnight Lair. It is a horror host show with a Nina the vampire, Neem the necromancer, Gravesley the Frankenstein monster, and York the talking skull. Oh, that sounds really good. We are going to show old movies like The House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price. Oh, okay. There was a show years ago like that. I mean, Elvira had one, but there was another one in Toronto we had where they would do that. They would show old movies, and then it would be hosted by these different characters, sort of spooky characters. That sounds really, really cool. Samantha K. asks what I mean. I'm just really empathetic with that stuff. Yeah. Same with me. Okay. It's great. You need to watch it, says Justin Thomas. And he says it twice, so he must really mean it. Justin, you didn't find it too upsetting? We are going to... Okay. I would love to see an episode on harlots. It is 18th century. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. So I got Jojo Bizarre, harlots, 18th century. I'm assuming they're prostitutes. 18th century. Well, I saw a really great interview with Anne Crabtree about the costumes of The Handmaid's Tale. And so she's the same costume designer as Westworld. So I really love her work. So... And it was really, really fascinating, the interview I saw with her. The Good Place is fun and unusual show. Only 26 to 30-minute episodes. Yeah. Oh, Ian Trone's here. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I've watched a bunch of those, and my husband watches that show. He loves that show. It is kind of a fun little show, isn't it? My other favorite show that's really quick, if anybody's seen it, is Santa Clarita Diet. It's a riot. Like I think we talked about this last week. It's just like a very short show, but it's sort of like satire. And it's about this couple that are real estate agents, and they live in the suburbs, and they have a teenage daughter. And then then the wife becomes a zombie of sorts, of some type. Yeah. Angel Lover says, Harlots is set in 1763. The costumes are pretty and very vibrant. Handmaid's Tale is pretty gut-wrenching at times, so I can understand why you might not want to watch it. Yeah. Justin Thomas says Succession might be good to look at. So, Justin, what have you got going on? I haven't talked to him in ages. he's another creator. He does Game of Thrones. Oh, sorry, I think he does Game of Thrones too, but he's doing Westworld right now. So every Sunday night he has a, he does a dedicated video to Westworld, but then he also does like an analysis right after the show. It's called When the Dust Settles, Justin, isn't it? When the Dust Settles? But anyway, so last week, because I was at this conference, I didn't get to watch Westworld. And then what happened was I'm online and everyone was like talking about Westworld. I'm like, don't talk about it. Don't at me because I haven't seen it yet. So finally, my husband, Jack, he ended up sending it to me in a file and I watched it on, I think I watched it Tuesday night and it was crazy. It was really crazy. So I didn't get to see your show, Justin. So this week I'm pretty excited about what we're coming up toward the end. Like we're getting near, the finish line with this season. So we're starting to now get, as some creators would call it, the big, what would he call it? The payoffs. We're starting to get the payoffs on the show. So, and Justin Thomas says, I'm a huge Borgia fan. We talked about it when I was on last time, but would love to talk about it. Yeah, so we should revisit that. That was really fun. Because you did a video on Blade Runner, I was wondering if you might do a video on Blade Runner 2049 or Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams. I was also wondering if you might do a video on the Borgias. Yeah, and Justin says, okay. So I have to tell you, like, I watched part of Electric Dreams. I loved it. I thought it was so good. Have you, Angel All Over, have you seen all the episodes? And then I did see Blade Runner, the newer one. I just was like, in terms of it, I didn't feel that there was like, it was a super costumey type show. Like, did you guys find that? Like that, I didn't feel like compared to the first one, I didn't feel it was, I mean, I would love Ryan's coat, Ryan Gosling's coat. I thought it was gorgeous, but I didn't feel it was that costumey of a show. I mean, maybe a little bit, I don't know, compared to the first one. So, but the Electric Dreams, I think I've seen half the episodes. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. So I should look at doing that. Intro says, hi. And the 30 Days says, I watched it a few weeks ago and it was great. I'm not sure what he's talking about now. Game of Westworld. Oh, Ian Trone, you might have missed this, but I said at the very beginning, I'm going to do a Shogun World video. What do you think about that? Because I was saying I've already done Westworld last season and there hasn't been much change. Like Dolores is pretty much wearing the same and Teddy and Man in Black. So I thought maybe I'll do Shogun World because we didn't really get a lot from Raj. So I thought maybe that would be a really fun thing. And I talked to some of the people in the chat last time asking if they wanted to know more, you know, about Japanese clothing and so on. And they seemed to. And also it was really interesting. Spoilers about Westworld here, guys. Spoilers. So how they did the mirroring of Maeve and then Akane, you know, the mirroring that they had there with the two worlds, with Westworld and then and I saw an interview with the costume designer and she was saying that, so for instance, the Ronin, who I can't remember the character's name, sorry, the Ronin, how they added leather to his kimono to sort of mirror Hector. And I thought that was really, really neat. And then, of course, they had the colors of like Akane and Maeve had this sort of same colors, that sort of berry red color. And so there was a lot of tying. And then even like Clementine and the other geisha had that sort of same sort of turquoisey blue color. So they did a lot of mirroring there. So I thought that was really neat. And the other thing the costume designer was talking about is that she used, even though they did some traditional sort of things, she also incorporated contemporary materials because it's supposed to be a theme park, not necessarily actually historically accurate. Yes, Shogun World. Yeah. So Ian Tron, I'm doing a Tyrion Lannister video that I'm hoping I'll have up tomorrow. I'm a bit behind because I was away. And then the next one's going to be Shogun World. So I got some really good pictures from that. And actually there's some, and you know what I didn't have today, but they have new pictures out for Westworld for tomorrow night. So I haven't had a chance to look at them, but there are some new pictures that I wanted to have a look at, and maybe I'll share those on Twitter. The set design for Shogun World is fantastic. Yeah, I think the whole thing was really beautiful. I think they did a really, really nice job. And they were saying, like, obviously it was mirroring Sweetwater. I don't know what the name of the town is supposed to be called, but in Shogun World, but it's mirroring Sweetwater. And then each of the stores apparently it was based on each craftsperson in the show. So like if you had, there was a place for hair and makeup, and there was a place for wardrobe, and there was a place for like lighting, I guess, and a place for, I don't know what all the different departments on a film set would be. Oh, wow. Yes, Shogun, says Wendy. Awesome. Don't worry, I'm way behind and I have no idea what they are talking about too. Says 30-day reviews. Sharon says, that was awesome. The Westworld mirroring with Shogun World was very awesome. Yeah, I love that too. And it was funny. They did a good job because, honestly, I had no idea. Like, they really kept that under the wraps. Like it was kind of nice because, a lot of times I find in trailers, they sometimes spoil stuff, or in the pictures that it kind of gets spoiled. But that was actually a really nice surprise, for everybody that, like, especially when you see someone like Armistice, she notices the girl she has the dragon, and of course she has the snake all over her body, and then she's like, what's going, like, I feel like something's familiar here. And then the whole joke with what's his name, plagiarizing himself, Lee, is it what's his name, Justin? He says, I think you are the first creator to say Ian Trone. It's Ian Trone, right? I think Robert told me how to say it. That's why. Yeah, Shogun World will rock a lot of people's worlds. Yeah. Anyways, Justin, I forgot what I was saying there. I think you were, yeah. They kind of blew the whole thing with Shogun last episode, to be honest, but we will talk about that when I come on. Yeah. I was wondering what you thought about that. Like, because I haven't, like I said, I didn't get to see your last live stream, and I had some thoughts on it, but I haven't talked to anybody about it. So I'm a little bit, but it was weird how they just, that they ended it, right? They just, okay, that's it. So I was a little bit disappointed that it had that finality to it. I didn't like that. I was really hoping, they brought the one character over, but other than that, Ian Trent says there's no right way. All good. The Shogun World locations were so beautiful too. The lake, the bamboo forest, Sakura's resting place. I know it was. Oh, Lee Sizemore. Thank you. Yes, it was totally beautiful. Obviously they had Mount Fuji in the background. I'm assuming that was like CG, or, it was matte painted in or something, but still it was really, really beautiful. What I loved is, I don't know if I talked to Justin about this, but a lot of the times when you look at Japanese paintings, it always has that layered effect. So you've got like the foreground and then the background, and it's like stacked in behind, and like the mountains and so on. And then there's one picture they showed like that, and it was just so stunning with the mist and everything. Honestly, that show, like, cinematography wise, is just outstanding. Game of Thrones probably is the only show I think that I feel that competes with it. Angel Oliver says, I watched all of Electric Dreams. I think my favorite is the one with the actor that plays Robb Stark. It has a Blade Runner feel, but in a desert, London, instead of rainy or snowy LA. I didn't get to see that one, so I was watching it. I watched, I think, because we didn't have it in Canada, so I was watching it. They didn't have all the episodes, so I've only gotten to see like 4 or 5 of them. But if anybody doesn't know what it is, it's based on Philip K. Dick's, like, his short stories. And he wrote Blade Runner. Well, he didn't write Blade Runner, but he wrote Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. And he deals a lot with technology. Blade Runner was based on Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, in case you don't know. And he wrote Minority Report. He wrote, maybe you guys can help me with some of the stuff he's written, because I can't think of it off the top of my head. So I'll have to definitely see that one with the Robb Stark. The one that I really liked, Angel Oliver, is the one with, the lady who plays the actress in Game of Thrones that Arya is supposed to assassinate. She was in one with the guy from Breaking Bad. I love that one. That was awesome. I thought she was stunning. Aaron says, The Greatest Showman. What is that, Aaron? Does that mean you want me to do that movie? I like to see you do a series on Star Trek Discovery. Is that the new one? I haven't seen it. If it's the new one, I haven't actually seen it. I've seen pretty much all the other Star Treks, but I haven't seen that one. Justin says, I was stuck at work, so I am with you. I didn't have a post show last week, just the pre-show. Oh, really? What happened? Okay, then I didn't miss anything. So Justin will definitely have to talk. We're going to have to talk about that. So we're going to have Justin on. Maybe, Justin, if you can't do a weekend, maybe we can do a weeknight after the next episode airs. And do a breakdown of what happened. But then we can also talk about the Borgias, and we can talk about Peaky Blinders, since now I'm starting to get caught up with that. The costumes in that show are really, really great. There's so I watched the 3rd episode, and he takes her to the racetrack, and she's wearing this red dress. And it's so funny. I love how they built it into the story. So she's like this bartender, but she's actually like I don't know, Justin, she's like a police officer, right? She's like a she is, oh, you're going to private message me. Okay. He says I'm open next weekend. Okay, great. So Justin and I are going to talk about doing a show. Yeah, so she's like, I don't know, Scotland Yard or something. So what she does, though, is she tells him, the main character, that she needs to, that he needs to give her some money so she could buy a nice dress. So he gives her like a couple of dollars or something. And she's like, oh, no, I'm going to need more than that. And then so she keeps upping him on it. So finally, by the end, she ends up with this amazing, like, stunning red dress with a matching hat. It was pretty incredible. But even the guys, like, I love the costumes on the guys, too. They're really good. Derby hat. Oh, what was that about a derby hat? Yes. I'm not sure. Justin said derby hat. That's the hat the men wear. It's like a round sort of hat. Is that what you're talking about? Or a bowler hat. A derby hat is a little bit deeper than it's a little bit deeper. Oh, and by the way, Justin, remember the last time we were on here and my sister came into the chat and she said I was calling it a poor boy hat, and she says, oh, it's a newsboy. I looked it up. I was right. It is a poor boy. So my sister's not here, so I can tell her. Yeah, I was right. Well, she wasn't wrong. It's called that as well. But poor boy is a name for that particular type of hat. So there you go. 2 bobs and 10 pence. Is that what it was? Derby Day. Is that what it was? See, I have such a terrible memory. So, you guys, this is what happens to me. Unless I write stuff down, I can't remember. So what happens when I go to do my analysis videos, if I want to make sure that I have proper information, I have to go back and double check the information. Otherwise, if I just do it off the top of my head, I won't ever remember it. And we'll get the facts right, is what I'm trying to say. Is that what it was? It was Derby Day when they went to the Derby. It wasn't. They don't call it the races. They call it the Derby. See, I'm not from England. I don't know. Laugh out loud. Did you catch the hat maker reference? Yeah. Well, a hat maker's called. Did they say milliner? That's the name of the hat maker. A milliner for women. Life happened. Oh, what is Samantha saying? Oh, Amelia saying, can you do an Avengers costumes evolution? Okay. Can someone explain to me Avengers Evolution? Is that the new one? I saw one with Sophie Turner. Is that the one you're talking about where she's Jane? Or is that the horror one that's coming out? Someone needs to explain to me this. Avengers Evolution. Anyways, Amelia, I'm writing it down so I can look it up. I always mention to you guys when I'm doing live streams, I'm usually like 3 months behind on movies. So Solo just came out. I'll probably see it. Well, actually, I'm going to try and speed up Solo, but I still haven't seen the latest Avenger movie. So I haven't seen The Greatest Showman. See, Aaron, I haven't seen that. Aaron, were you joking though when you said The Greatest Showman? Did you not like it? Oh no, he says yes, please. Okay, Aaron, I'm going to write that down. The Greatest Showman. The costumes did look really good for that. And I do like the actor that's in that movie. So, okay, so I've got Harlot's Avengers Evolution, JoJo Bizarre, which I have to look that up. I don't know what that is. Does anybody know what that is? JoJo Bizarre? Oh, Avengers Infinity War. Is that the same thing? Avengers Infinity War is the one I haven't seen. Except I don't know that I could do that movie because isn't it like a mashup of all the characters? It's just too many costumes. Infinity War. I did Thor and I did Black Panther. Samantha K says, in regards to the new Star Trek, I've also seen all the other series and it's definitely different. I feel like it's redeems itself and I was very impressed with the costumes and aliens. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write down Star Trek. The new Star Trek. Sorry, was it Star Trek? Sorry, Samantha. What was it? Star Trek. Star Trek. Discovery. Yep. Okay, you're giving me a good list here. I like the episode Bryan Cranston and Essie Davis. That's the one I was talking about, yes. The same actress was in the mystery show called Miss Fisher's. Yes. It's set in the late 1920s. There are several coats on hers that I want. Yeah, Essie Davis. So did you see her in Game of Thrones? She plays Lady Crane, she works at the gate as one of the actors. She basically plays the Cersei Lannister character. Oh yeah, Samantha, yes, Discovery. Star Trek Discovery, says Ian Trone. So I've got that down, guys. So I know the girl who stars in Star Trek Discovery is from The Walking Dead. Is that correct? Walking Dead. Okay. I think she wants to see how the costumes have changed over time for the different characters of the Avengers. Oh, I see what you're saying. Ian Trone says, not sure where it's in Canada, Space or Netflix or CBS All Access. Yeah, I think it might be the Space Network. We've been watching, has anybody been watching Legion? Or what's the other show Jack and I have been watching? The Expanse. That's on Space. Legion, I think, is on FX. Legion is crazy. Like, seriously crazy. Yes, she left The Walking Dead to go star on Okay, yeah. So she's supposed to be half Vulcan, I think. I think I heard a little bit about it. So, and Angel All Over. So did you like Miss Fisher's Mysteries? Did you like that? I've heard a couple of other people ask me about that. What about Hotel Artemis? Costumes look great as well. Hotel Artemis. Do not know what that is. You guys are asking me for stuff. Hotel Artemis. I'll look that up. Amelia says changes of costumes equal evolution. Yes. I wait for most of them to get to Netflix, says Ian Trone. Yeah, that's what I do as well. So like for instance, I'm like on some of the shows I'm watching, like Outlander. I'm only up to season 3 or season 2 because they've only done 2 seasons on Netflix. They haven't done the 3rd season yet, even though I think they're moving into the 4th season. And then what else am I? Peaky Blinders is on Netflix. I haven't just watched all of it. I was watching the Frankenstein Chronicles, so I'm almost done that. They've got like a lot of the British shows we get later. Netflix Canada buys them up, and then we watch them later. What else is everyone saying? Amelia says, save The Expanse. Yes. So my husband's really more the Expanse fan. Like, I like it. It's shot in Canada. It's shot in Toronto. There's a lot of Canadian actors in it. And actually, it was funny. There was a guy in it the other day who I was like, hey, I used to go to theater school with that guy. Like, it's sort of weird. Once in a while, these people will pop up. We did a play together. And they'll just be in the show. Yeah, it's really trippy. I think if you like Battlestar Galactica, you probably would watch it. It's a little bit trippy for me. It's a little bit cerebral, I think they might say. Angel All Over says, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a manga anime. I think there is a live action movie as well. Oh, okay. So Jojo Bizarre. Okay. Oh, Jojo Bizarre Adventure. Okay, let me look that up. Adventure. Gonna have some summer watching. And then Sharon, sorry I was oh sorry. Sorry, Sharon got her comment got hidden. That's okay. Well, I'll look at it. Sorry, Sharon, you got your that was an accident. Yeah, because we always have such a nice group of people. We don't ever have to do that. So, but was Ian Tron says both got renewed? What got renewed? The Expanse? We had a show in Canada called The Murdoch Mysteries, and I was talking about this the other day. So, because we were saying that apparently The Expanse was on one network, and I guess that Amazon is picking it up. So we had this one show called The Murdoch Mysteries that was on CBC, which is our national broadcaster, like our federal broadcaster, and they canceled it. So CTV picked it up, and the show's gone on several more seasons. So I think this is always a really good thing. I was hoping that, I don't know if anybody watched Penny Dreadful. That was like a really great show, and I don't know if it was like FX or something like that, but I will love that show. And then they just like axed it, and it was and I'm pretty sure that they just made up an excuse why they axed it. They basically said that they had always intended to end it after 3 years, and I was like, there's no way. And I've talked to other people who said the same thing. They said there's no way, and it was really too bad because they canceled it, and I think it could have easily have been picked up by another network and gone on for several more seasons. I really enjoyed it. It was with Eva Green, and she's just amazing. She's from Bond, if anybody. She was in the original. She was in the original James Bond with Craig. What's his name? You guys know I can't remember anything. Oh, Ian Tron says Legion and The Expanse. Were they going to cancel that? I can't follow what's going on here. Oh, both got renewed, you're saying. Okay. Well, I have to say though, like Legion is just like this season, it's just woo, like totally out there. Like I actually preferred season 1. I thought it was better. This season is just like totally crazy, bizarro out there. So Angel Arrow says, I love Miss Fisher's Mysteries. It's a bit like Murdoch Mysteries. Oh, so she knows, you know Murdoch Mysteries then. Only it's Aussie. It was great. Watch Essie on Game of Thrones. I was a bit sad with her characters. And yeah, me too. I really liked her. Actually, they had some really great characters. They had guys like Ian McShane was on there, who's now on American Gods. So there were some really great like day players, I suppose, like really top notch cast. And it's just so strange because, of course, this time last year we would have started watching, I think, well, maybe in another month, but around this time last year we would have been watching Game of Thrones, and it's just so weird that we have to wait so long to watch it. And I'm kind of like, since I've been doing the Tyrion video, it's made me sort of a little bit nostalgic for the show. I was like, oh, I really miss Tyrion. Like I feel like I'm missing my friend, and he's such a great character. So when I do get to do the Game of Thrones videos, it's kind of nice because I sort of feel like I'm visiting everybody. But yeah, it's such a long wait. But I loved her too. That was my first experience with her, like seeing her. So when I saw the Electric Dreams episode, I'm like, hey, that's the girl from Game of Thrones. I knew right away. And I think she's just stunning. Like she's an older woman, but she's a stunning older woman. I was like, wow, if I could look like that when I'm her age, that's amazing. Oh, I think the comment was hidden because of URLs. Oh, okay. Ashley, oh, hi, Ashley. She says, Picnic at Hanging Rock just came out on Amazon, and it looks like a dreamy Edwardian mystery. Okay, I'm going to write that down. That sounds like, is it a movie? Because actually, that sounds like something I'd like to see. And I like the name, too. Picnic at Hanging Rock. Okay. Lots of great suggestions, everybody. Yeah, Herman, who's Cindy says Penny Dreadful was wonderful. Yeah, I was really sad about it, and it was funny because since season 3, it felt like it was really leading up to something like something else, and then it just stopped, and I was just like, okay, that just didn't make any sense to me. Ian Troun says I can only handle one complicated show, so I can't do Legion until I recover from Westworld. I know. And honestly, I'm having like, I mean, I'm really just watching it because Jack's watching it. but I probably, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have just given up on it. And I love the cast. It's a great cast. The actor in it, of course, is from Downton Abbey, Dan Stevens, and he was in Beauty and the Beast. But so he's lovely and everything. But I like the styling. I like the production design on it. It's really cool. It's interesting, but I just find it's just a bit too out there. Oh yeah, and Sharon says she also loved Penny Dreadful. They did announce a movie for Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. Oh, that would be good. So is she sort of like a murder she wrote, like, or like an Agatha Christie? Is that what sort of it is? My parents are into that stuff. Like, I mean, they always watch all that stuff on Saturday night. In Canada, we have this station. It's basically like PBS or like BBC, and they show like all these British style, what do you call them, like masterpiece theater type shows. So they tend to watch those types of shows, the mysteries, the Puro, all that kind of stuff. I've never done that. I've never kind of sat and watched those shows with them. So, but I know they like them. So what's everybody got coming up for the following week? What's everyone's plans this week? So it looks like I'm going to maybe be doing a stream with Justin, and then maybe a stream. I have to talk to Aaron about this too. So a couple of good streams coming up, guys. So tell me what you guys have coming up for this week. Oh, Miss Fisher and the Crypt of Tears. Ooh, that sounds good. Let me check that out. Sorry, I don't have a guest on tonight. I didn't work on it, and because I was away, and so you're stuck with me. Sorry if it's boring. Crypt of Tears. It's hard just to talk to yourself, I'm kind of sitting here just talking to myself. My kids are in the cage, they're okay though. They're fine. 30 Days says, need to sort some more out with my new channel, and then hopefully starting with my big summer project. Oh, thanks, 30 Days. Not boring at all. Oh, I'm excited to know what you're doing, 30 Days. What's your big project? And 30 Days also, I promised to look at your script that you sent me. I will look at that. I'm hoping, like, it was funny because last week, and I did the stream last Saturday, and then I got my video up, and then I went right to the conference, and it was at the conference. It was like, go, 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 go. And then I got back Wednesday, and then I kind of went back to my regular work, and then, then I woke up a little bit late today. I slept in a little bit today, and then my husband's like, oh, do you want to do this on the live stream? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, I'm not doing anything fancy. I said, I'm tired. I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to keep it simple, and then maybe next week we'll do something a little more fancy, because I said I still have to finish my Tyrion video. And yeah, I just felt like, just kind of going, I felt like just too much work this week. I think you guys understand that, right? When you don't have that nice balance of what's going on. So I was just like, it's just felt like work. So I'm hoping tomorrow, actually, we're going to go to, well, we're not going to do the marathon. We're going to like this event. It's a fundraiser. And then we're going to go and have lunch with family and stuff. And it's at this beautiful place. So hopefully that'll be nice. Just having a little bit of a break from the grind, as they call it. But with the summer, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different summer, because last summer what I did was I was doing weekly videos, updates or show analysis on Game of Thrones when the show was on. So it's going to be a bit of a different summer this summer. So that's why I'm asking you guys for your ideas, because I wanted to maybe do, a few different things. Oh, Cindy says, I'm making a pioneer costume for my daughter. She's doing a reenact. Oh, that's so great. Will you take a picture of it, and either you can send it to me. I know you sometimes comment on Facebook, so I think you're on Facebook. Maybe send me a picture by Facebook. That would be awesome. I'd love to see that. And then Emilio says, reread Clash of Kings and starting with writing some theories. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and the new book, no, I mean, this is the issue with Game of Thrones too, because it's like the series is way past the book, so you can't even get like really a lot of hints of what's going to happen, right? We're sort of just, Dave and Dan are sort of like are steering the ship now, so to speak. and a clash of theories. A clash of someone gave me an idea for what was it? It was like I don't know. One of my viewers gave me this great idea for the name of like of a costumey Game of Thrones thing, but now of course I can't remember what it was. I'll have to go back and let. Oh, love that book, says Alejandra. Am I saying that? Is it Alejandra? You don't pronounce the J? Is that correct? Anyways, guys, so I'm probably gonna wrap things up right now because I'm at just a bit more than an hour, and it's just me. So unless anybody else has anything they want to talk about, I'm gonna wrap things up, and then I think what I'm gonna do is next week I'm going to work on having Justin on as a guest. He was just chatting, and also we said Aaron and Tatiana. Sure, it isn't going to be anything too wonderful. Oh, I'm sure it'll be awesome. I'd like to see that. My kids actually, we have a Pioneer Village here, and so my son went a couple of years ago, and so what I did with him is I just put on like what's called a Henley, which is like kind of like a waffly shirt that buttons up at the front, and then I put just a plaid shirt over that, and then overalls and boots, and then what kind of hat did we do? We did some kind of hat, I think, and then he had like a metal pail, with a tea towel in it, and then he put his lunch in there, and that's what he brought to the Pioneer Village. Last call for questions or comments. Thanks, Ian Trone. A game of costumes. Yeah, maybe I should call the book that. Can I email or send you pictures of my Midnight Lair vampire costume once it's completed? Yes, Sharon, I would love to see that. So Sharon, if you want to send me pictures, my email is in the description. You can also send me a message. Erin usually contacts me through Facebook or by Twitter. Anyway, it's fine. I'm cool with all that. But if you send it by email, I'll get it. It'll just come right into my inbox. I haven't had any problems, I think, not getting anything. I think I had one problem at one point, but that was because I was having a problem with my server at that time. I'm wondering if you ever read the Tom and Lo blog during the last 2 or 3 seasons of Mad. I was reading that pretty avidly for their theories on color and wardrobe. They talked about clothes and the sets. No. So Tom and Lo? Was that about Game of Thrones? No, I haven't read any of them. A feast of costumes, a dance with costumes, a storm of costumes, a dream of costumes, a time for costumes. Those are awesome. I'm gonna put those. I'm gonna copy those and put them in a little file so I can reference that later, and maybe something like one of those will be the one. No, I haven't. You know what? Honestly, I to be honest with you, with Game of Thrones, and I do this except for Wiki sometimes I go to. For the most part, I actually sort of a lot of it I don't look at what other people talk about because I kind of want to figure it out on my own. And I'm worried that I'll be kind of swayed by how other people look at it. And so a lot of times I just sort of do my own interpretation. But I unless it's an interview with the designer, then I will oftentimes read that because I want to see what she has to say about it. But sometimes actually I've guessed even before I've read what she said. So I tend to do it that way because I don't know how to explain it, but I just sort of like to have come to it fresh, especially when I just watched the show and then I want to look at it. I kind of don't want to have other people sort of tainting maybe what I think. Sometimes after the fact I will go look at what other people say, but I'm actually not familiar with them. Like I know Game of Clothes, I know them, not Game of Clothes, I know Clothes on Film, and I know Tyrion of Style, and I know what are those girls called? Frock Flicks. I know them. There's the Snarky Girls, but I do not know them. Loved Mad Men as well. Oh, Mad Men, sorry. Oh, okay. You know what? I've only watched, I think, the first season of that. Okay. That sounds fun. Last call for questions. Yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. It's a beautiful evening here. I hope everyone's having really nice weather like we are, and you can enjoy it after, because it's actually here. It's only just after 7. So it's still quite early. I'm going to go have dinner with the kids. get them out of the cage, and then, you know, we'll have dinner, and then hopefully maybe I'll try and watch one of these shows tonight after I finish my Tyrion video. That is, I have to finish it. So I will do a little, so I actually had sent out on Twitter, I'd done a little like thing saying I'm going to have a video on Tyrion coming out. And so that's going to be, hopefully I said in the next day or two. And then I will do a little announcement, like, so depending on what the next live stream is, because I said I didn't have anything really planned for this. I was telling 30-day reviews that today. I have nothing planned. So it was sort of like open. Thanks so much for coming, even though there's nothing really happening here. And so I promised to have like a more planned out show for you with a guest in the next episode. And then also I mentioned I'm going to have the Shogun World video. Hopefully that'll come out. That would be like next weekend. That will come out. So, and by then I'll have watched the next episode of Westworld, and then hopefully Justin and I can talk, and then we can, you know, share some ideas about things like that. And then also I can tell you what's going to happen with that video. So at the moment, it's going to be, you know, just some analysis of the costumes of Shogun World, but also just you know, I'm going to sort of show you guys some things about actual Japanese costumes. So it'll be like sort of a fun thing for me too. I've sort of delved a little bit into Japanese costume, the history behind it, and it's the Edo period. So it's always fun for me. I love learning about history and what people wore. I'm always fascinated by what people wore. So hopefully if you guys are into that too, you'll get something out of it. So hopefully you'll see that coming in the next a little more than a week from now. So in the meantime, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and it was really nice having you all here as always. You're so supportive, and I really appreciate it. And when I get to the 10,000, like I said, I have a little thing planned for that. So I'm going to share that with you soon. So have a great weekend, everybody. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.